Let's talk now about the Eskimo roll, a maneuver of extreme importance that every kayaker must know. Being able to perform the Eskimo roll helps us to reduce any risk of accidents, since this is the main way of self-rescue. Besides knowing how to do it, the Eskimo roll helps us to speed up the learning of other kayaking techniques. Therefore, I suggest that all beginners learn it as quickly as possible, and that intermediate and advanced kayakers evolve their Eskimo roll technique together with their kayaking technique. The most important part of an Eskimo roll is the rotation movement with the lower part of your body. Therefore, it's extremely important to enhance the mobility of your hips in order to have the most fluid possible agility between the lower limbs and torso. The more obtuse the angle is between the legs and the torso, the easier it is to rotate the lower limbs, and therefore, if the torso is leant backwards, it helps us to perform the Eskimo roll more successfully. The head must be relaxed and should never be raised during an Eskimo roll. In order to perform an Eskimo roll correctly, it's fundamental to be very relaxed during the plunge. Therefore, the exercises for acclimatization and adaptation in the water are very useful. It's very important also to have a soft and relaxed grip of the paddle. The Eskimo roll is actually a brace stroke starting from an extremely unbalanced position. For the Eskimo roll starting position, the torso must be slightly bent forwards and in torsion, while the paddle is parallel to the kayak. It is at the same time the beginning phase of the maneuver and the safety position that protects your face. The power face of the blade must be kept on the surface as much as possible, and it must create an acute angle in order to find the catch on the water. While it opens towards the outside and withdraws, the torso makes an ideal semicircle towards the stern. This movement allows us to move the boat away using the lower limbs and to facilitate the rotation of the hips and the pushing action of the working knee on the thigh braces. The combination of these three elements rewrites the kayak. The position of the arms is the same as during the high brace in order to protect your shoulders. It's important to try to keep the blade close to the surface and apply the least possible strength. This type of Eskimo roll is the fastest way to restore balance in case of flipping over with the torso in a backward position. The starting position is with your back leant on the kayak deck. The paddle is parallel to the side. The power face of the blade is turned towards the outside and the working hand bent in front of your face in order to protect it. After flipping over, we have to bring the blade close to the surface with its power face turned forwards. First, we have to make a neutral movement towards the central area and then towards the stern and try to find the catch in the water. This movement rewrites the kayak together with the rotation of the hips. We can start a reverse Eskimo roll with the circular movement of the blade. The simplest way to perform an Eskimo roll with your hands is to find a catch on the water with your left hand, and then, while the right hand crosses past in front of your face and pushes downwards, the left arm stretches towards the rotation side and creates a flywheel effect, which, together with the work of the hips, restores balance. Once we have learned to perform the Eskimo roll in one way, we must learn all the other variations to restore balance after flipping. L Eskimo roll. The torso remains closed while pushing the blade downwards. Eskimo roll which ends with a recovery high brace. Eskimo roll which ends with a low brace. Eskimo roll with a continuous brace. And so on.